Good morning, guys. This is Richard back at you. We got our instant clean machine all warmed up, ready to go to make our job and life a lot easier. Cleaning equipment since 1977, guys. These guys have been making quality equipment to make our life easier. Well, guys, we got Mr. Williams 4L60 in the house. This gentleman saved and saved and saved to get all of his parts for us to put a really nice unit together. And I mean, boy, did he buy some parts. I'm not sure what this is going. Oh, 99 Pontiac Trans Am. Doesn't have horsepower rating or anything like that, but whatever he's doing, it must be pretty severe because of the parts he physically bought to make this unit nice. Here we go. Woo! Let's start out. We got our Transgo Pro kit here, programming kit, really nice kit. We got our Sonex billet input drum here. Now, we're not sure if this tranny here is late enough to have a reluctor and a blank, no wiring style pump or what, but anyway, he did buy the earlier version Sonex input shaft that ain't even been out of the bag yet. See if I can get that out of there. There we go. Now what we'll do is we'll press this shaft out, press this new billet Sonex shaft in here. That way we still have the drum, and then he can save this shaft or we'll buy it from him or something like that for the next job. Now he did also buy the Sonex billet output shaft. Get this beauty out of the bag. Maybe I can just tear the bag and pull it out the side. Really nice piece here too. You know, these shafts will come with a sticker tag talking about spots and stuff that you see on the shafts. If you ever see that on a shaft, see if I can find one here. You can kind of see one here, a little dot. See if we see another one right here. And what they do is they heat these shafts up and straighten them. They're not totally true when they get them out of, I guess, out of the machine, and then they go in there and heat straighten them. So really nice piece. We just go on and on. We have our Sonex billet forward clutch hub. These are bad about cracking here. You can see here how he made it a lot thicker, then shrunk it down to where the snap ring will still hold it together. Then we have our Sonex Smart Shell. Really nice piece, comes with instructions, your bearing, race, shell, and stuff like that. Of course, we have our Sonex billet servo. We have our Sonex stator support here. Now we do have a Transgo box here. I'm going to look at and see what we got in there. I'm not for sure yet. Didn't look at the end of that. But we got our new sun gear, new reverse drum, wiring harness, and we even have one of these beautiful pieces here. The Sonex forward planet. 6-pinion. Really nice upgrade when you build a high performance unit. Even for towing and stuff, I believe that there would make a gas truck tow even better. I mean, just everything about it. We have a complete bearing kit, pump kit. We have all of our Sonex pivot pins, our 2-3 shift valve heavy duty check balls, the servo release, third accumulator. I mean, just a lot of nice pieces. Our Transtech gasket set here. Now he sent me 2 clutch kits because both of them have Z-packs, and with the drum here, we can get I believe it's 16 or 17 clutches in the 3/4 clutch pack. So he wanted to make sure we had enough clutches to assemble it, which I would have had them anyway because we break Z-packs just so we can do that, and we have them over there. Wide band. Now we did supply it. He brought me a narrow. So there's a couple things that we are supplying, but he did really get us a lot of nice pieces. So let's get this apart real quick. Now I did upgrade my air connector here to a Cobalt. Lowe's sells them. It's a button style. Instead of trying to pull it down and unlock it when my hands get greasy, I can't do it. I can just put it on. You push the button once, it pops off, releases the air, and push it again, it comes off. So that's going to be really nice, especially when my gloves are greasy and stuff. I can't grab that brass fitting to slide it back to get plugged in or even get it off. So I just got to remember I got it on there. I keep forgetting. Looks like the old mount's busted, missing a piece right here. That's no good. Get the tail housing off real quick. Definitely been into before being painted black. No telling what we got going in here. So once we get it apart, start getting it cleaned up, we really look at a lot of pieces. We have our output speed sensor there. You always want to clean it up. It always attracts metal. Sometimes too, they'll wear in the tip. You have to replace it. So you always want to look for this. See how that swells? Next thing you know, it'll start rubbing the reluctor. Even sometimes if these bushings start wearing, it'll get even closer to it too. So that one there will definitely have to, be replaced. On your bushing, seal, stuff like that. We have an O-ring here that seals the tail housing to the case. Now we have a yoke seal right here. If I can get this off there. Now what this does is seals the yoke from leaking out the back of the weep hole. In other words, see that little hole right there? This seal right here cups the yoke like that. That way no fluid can get in here and come out here. So if you leave this off, the seal gets hard, lets fluid get in here on the splines, next thing you know it leaks out the weep hole. Now they do make two different lengths of these too. They make a short and long. So something to know there. We have our reluctor here. Now he already pulled the servo out of the side here, and well, there we have something else, a hub down in here too, so I thought maybe he took it all the way apart. We have our Sonex roller bearing hub here, down in the box, bearing, spacer, and stuff like that. You definitely want to read the instructions here because it tells you how to put, where to put the shim, on what year, what planet, stuff like that. So you just want to look at that stuff. Always read your instructions. Right, Teresa? You don't understand it, you can get in trouble real easy. Have our lock-up O-ring. I lost my 13 deep. I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, well, I haven't found it. That's why I've been using an extension in my 13 short. Now you notice here on the pan bolts how long they are, and then you got your shifter mounting bracket bolts. See the different lengths in them. So you want to make sure you put them in the right spot. Roll on. I don't know when this thing's been serviced. It's awful clean looking. Might have serviced it because it's having problems or whatever, but filter's pretty dirty. Pan gasket's really ancient. I mean, you see where it's splitting. Anytime you just keep tightening and tightening and tightening, you finally just squish the gasket out. And it just starts leaking through all around the bolt holes and all that type of stuff. We don't like these paper gaskets, actually. We would prefer a dry cork over anything and put on with a speed handle. So it makes a difference on how you put them on. No silicone, just dry, clean surface. Yes, I am. Just decided to swap it up, change it up a little bit. Of course, you can see fluid coming out of these bolt holes here. I talk about sealing those bolts every time. Got our detent spring. We've got our PW solenoid, our 3-2 downshift solenoid. So you got to turn it sometimes to get to this clip to pop it off. Always put the clip back on, that way you don't lose it. The overhaul kit's got new O-rings there. Our pillow switch, our 2 shift solenoids, our pressure control solenoid. Teresa's got some really nice booties on today, guys. I think they're called Walmart Super Center booties. You know, the white ones that you carry stuff out with out of the store? Yeah. Of course, we have our pillow switch here. All these click when you push on them. Now it is rebuildable. You can pull these out to put new O-rings in there. It's simple. Of course, you can see our check balls. That made it really easy. Now, if we're going to do any type of shift kit modifications to the plate or anything like that, you're going to come in here and modify this hole here, this one here, and this one right here. 4th, 2nd, 3rd. If you're going to be drilling holes bigger, okay? Everybody likes to drill a hole bigger, right? They always say bigger's better. Well, not in transmission cases. But look at this. Already been repaired once.
That's what I was fixing to say.
Yeah, I didn't see it because the ball was sitting on it.
Well, I know, but
plus I'm half blind
weird.
Sometimes. Yeah. But we keep these in stock too. If all of the holes are bad with the balls run, we throw the plate away. If we just have to repair 1 hole, 2 holes, then we'll spend the money and put these in there to save the customer some money. Does that sound right? Spend the money to save money.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do that. Just remember, this almost feels like it's got water in it the way the gaskets have been sticking it. The way they stick like that.
Yeah. Just
remember round hole, square hole. Same way here, round hole, square hole. You'll see case, and then on this one here, it'll say V, valve body. Okay? Which that part got tore out of there so you can't see it. So the way this gasket's sticking, it almost feels like it's had water in it sometimes, because that's what makes those gaskets stick really well, is water. So I'll clean that up here in a minute. Let's just see if they did anything here. Nope, looks just stock. I mean, when you block this valve right here to make lockup work, guys, it works nice. Now, we've found we don't block the triple disc converters for these trannies, but we do block all the single disc. Oh, we don't have our air turned on yet? Oh, I didn't plug it in all the way. That's crazy. I didn't think I had air on. But if you only plug it in halfway, you have no air. You have to plug it in all the way. So it kind of scared me for a minute.
Yeah.
Thought my air compressor quit. But anyway, this is the easiest one to block too. You can just put a check ball here, check ball there, put it back together, put it in. You gotta, and if you notice here on this aluminum plug, how you see it wearing here on this end, and it looks new on this end, make sure you put the new towards the inside. That'll help seal this end cap right here a lot better. Okay. Put your clip back on the end plug, that way you don't lose it. Yeah, I got to remember to push it in twice. Still got a aluminum piston in it. You don't see that very often. But we have a better one. Actually, he brought us a better one. I like the billet ones a lot better. These here. You can just see. Shank's the same. They didn't upgrade it any, just better material. So. This all out of the way. Now you always want to come in here and Scotch-Brite this area up. Make sure the piston hasn't been rubbing and grooved it or anything like that. Now your Transgo or your SK kit, will come with a spring that goes in here behind this valve here, a white one. But you always want to check your valves. And then also for your 1-2 shift, this is the first accumulator spring that goes in here. It talks about it in your shift kit too. Depending on what servo you use here, depending on what spring you put in here. So it's pretty simple. Right, Teresa?
Sure. Whatever you say.
I gotta get used to pushing that button twice though. Now we do have an aluminum piston for the 1-2 shift. I gotta look and see if he's got any there for this one here. If not, we have them in stock. Does have a good spring here that keeps the piston up high, but the shift kit's gonna come with different springs. So you want to Scotch-Brite this up really good. Like I said, this is going in a pretty powerful car, so you definitely want to give it all the bang you can give it. Of course, our 4th gear accumulator here. You know what you're going to do with that. You're just going to put another piston on top of it. We always keep these springs to put in our 400 valve bodies. Doesn't look like any fluid in the connector, but I have a new wiring harness over there that's going in it. We just ain't going to take no chances. This check ball you can leave in or you can take it out. It doesn't matter. Once you block this, that check ball is useless. Okay. Hold your lever down, turn your output shaft. Your linkage will fall down so you can get to the bolt. Pretty simple. Same way on the installation. What I like to do is I'll put it back in like that, hold the lever down, and then I'll put this bolt in first all the way flush. Not tight, but that way it'll hold it there, and then I put this bolt in. Makes it a lot easier. Tell you, some of these hard O-rings, they're really hard to get out. I don't know what he's got on there, but I don't know what that white stuff is. Huh. Definitely want to replace that. Get all that silicone or whatever they got in here out of there. Take some Scotch-Brite probably. And come in here and try to clean that up a little bit and try to get that off there. Yeah, it feels like silicone. Hard to say. See a little bit of it around here too. Definitely want to look at the pump. Make sure it's good. I can't feel any of that. You can just see it.
Yeah, why does it look?
It just looks at you. Can't feel that at all.
Scratchy.
Yeah. Even if I take a screw, just there's nothing there. Just smooth. It's kind of weird how it shadows up like that. Change your bushings. Your overhaul kit or your bushing kit will come with a wide and a narrow. I will always put the wide all the way back to the early models. Just put the bushing in a little deeper, make sure it's in all the way good, and you'll be fine. Scotch-Brite this up here, this area here. You want to make sure there's no war spots, because that's where your bushing runs for your reverse drums. So put you some new rings there. See what boost valve we have in this thing. Now this is the early style. It's going to have the, actually what's crazy, it's got the short boost valve, but it don't have the spot for the wiring harness to come through for reluctor or anything like that, but it does have the short boost valve. Let me look at this real quick, just to verify. Yeah, see? This is a factory one too, short. So, this is right in the year where they were starting to change things, like a mid-year stuff. Went to the short boost valve. They're fixing to put a groove in here. They're fixing to put a speed sensor here. They're fixing to put a reluctor wheel here. So this is just right in that area where they're fixing to start doing all that stuff. You notice we have a cone spring here. Instead of a dual spring. First we have our seal retainer. Bushing don't look bad. That's not a factory bushing, so this tranny definitely been into before. And you can see here where the paddles are starting to push pretty hard. Usually high pressure causes a lot of that. Low on fluid possibly too. That's crazy that that thing feels, look at that, there's nothing there, just shadow. You'd think that'd be wore out. Of course, you want to look at your pivot pin. It's got wear. You can see it here. Got your little spring. Of course, we want to get our band anchor out of the way. Like to get that out of the way. That way you can grab that drum and pull it out. Of course, you can see just a factory style band, narrow band. And you can see here, the drum's toast. Now you can tell somebody scratched it or did some kind of crazy grinding to it. Look at that. I don't know what they did there, but look at that. It looks like they took a grinding wheel and just grinded on it.
That's the way that looked too.
Yeah, look at that. Just totally wore out. It was wore out before they started, before they put that in there, so. We have our reverse clutches here. Definitely going to need a new drum. Like I said, the customer did really good by grabbing a lot of his stuff. Now you notice the input shaft has no reluctor. So what we can do, we can put another pump in it that takes a reluctor and leave the, or to use his Sonex shaft without pressing it out, or we leave his pump in there and press the new shaft in that doesn't take a reluctor. So, multiple ways you can do it to make it easy on yourself. And we do have no load springs in here at all. We have 6 clutches, which you can start to see a little bit of wear on the tips right here. See it wearing? A lot of times when you see stuff like that, you start seeing band to clutch timing off. In other words, bind ups and stuff like that. In other words, the clutch coming on before the band's off. So, anytime we put that big band in there, you got to remember you're putting more surface area that has to be released. So, now you also put 14 clutches in here. You put this big old band in there, so you're going down the road, second gear comes on, now your 3/4 clutch is going to come on, this band's got to get out of there. It's got to come off. So, you're trying to make it shift firmer by bringing the bands on quicker and firmer, but when you do that, you cause timing issues. You bring the old clutch on faster than the old band can get out of there. So you got to really watch on putting these together when you start adding stuff. So start mixing shift kits up and stuff. When they talk about clearances and stuff, that's really critical, especially if you start tightening stuff up that doesn't need to be tightened up when you really should be loosening it up. So we have our forward clutch, our engine brake clutch. So good. You can see it does have a later model style sprag, dual cage. You always want to look in here, make sure there's no chatter. Scotch brite that up. Same way here. Any chatter marks. Look at your sun gear on both sides. Replace your bushings. Always put your bushings down a little bit farther, just like that. Because what I've found is, if you don't, your bushing will stick up above that hole right there a little bit. See how that hole sets in there like that? That hole down there?
Hang on.
Can you
Okay,
see that?
I see it now.
Well, if you put this up where it physically goes, about right there, see, so if you put the bushing to the top, it's gonna try to cover that hole a little bit. So make sure you countersink them. Sometimes them old snap rings are tough. There it goes. Now we do have a roller bearing hub here, which is nice, but you always know that when I take this hub out, it's going to be wore out down in here where the splines are. 99.9% are. Of course, that one's wore out too. Not much on the back side, but on that side there. So look at your ring gear for any wear on both sides of your teeth there. Of course, you have your 4-pinion Planet. Always want to look at them really good. Make sure none of the hardening's wore off. Start to see pitting or anything like that. Now we just have a factory shell here. This one isn't even a hardened one, doesn't look like. Well, maybe it is. Kind of hard to tell sometimes. Still got a lot of wear in the shell.
Richard, did you see I had a mouse in my trash again this morning?
That again?
Again!
I did not see that.
Second time in a row.
Well, we got a family running around here then.
I'm saying.
Like I say, you want to look at these sun gears really good. Once the hardening gets wore off, you'll start seeing pitting and stuff like that. So you want to always look at that. Your new sun gear normally won't come with a snap ring. You'll have to put it back on there. Huh? Yeah, she's hiding over by the door. She's ready to go. I start banging things around. She's ready to run.
Starts wandering.
Yeah. Of course, our lower reverse clutch looks really good. Now on this unit here, since it is going to be a high horsepower, a lot of manual shifting, we're definitely going to get the wave out of there, stack a couple more steels in there, and check our clearance. Now sometimes when you do that, your clearance seems to be tight, but if you air check it and watch the distance your piston's moving down in here when it's assembled, you'll see the clearance is good. So you just remember, with the wave out, no more than that piston moved, that clutch is let go. With the wave in there, the piston can release, the clutch is still applied until the wave is relaxed. Just remember that. That's why we get rid of them out of race cars, a lot of manual shifting and stuff like that. Okay?
Wave goodbye.
Yep. Same way here, the race looks good. Scotch brite that up. Put your new roller clutch down in here. You always want to clean this area up here before the new clutch is going to run. Ring gears. these little jewels here are getting hard to come by. If you notice this ring gear is wore plumb out. Can you see that, Teresa? It's kind of hard to tell from here all the way out.
I see.
And that's what happens. They'll start wearing in the middle and wear towards the outer down here.
Wow. Yeah.
Not on this side, only on the drive side.
Yeah.
So, like I said, these ring gears are really getting hard to find because I don't think they ever made any new ones as far as I know. So,
there's a lot of hard bits.
A lot of parts getting hard.
Pinion planets that we put in that 604L60E.
Yeah.
None to be had.
Yeah. A lot of parts are getting very scarce. We're buying everything we can find just to keep this place going and keep our customers happy and going strong. But like I said, he brought all of his stuff in. We really appreciate that. If you guys are going to do that, bring your vehicle in, and you want this type of stuff put in there, gather it all up for me. What you don't find, we can get and put in there, but it saves a lot of time from waiting and stuff like trying to order a lot of this stuff up. So, but Teresa, you know, we appreciate you recording always, definitely. Guys, don't forget to go subscribe, put that notification bell, because we got a ton to go. Have a great day.